I use the term minor attracted person or M.A.P. In the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them.
Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you got your wine, your water, or your rolling tray, or whatever you need to tune in with me, because y'all trying to give me a stroke today. About 10 people sent me this video. I'm like, okay, like clearly I need to watch this. I've seen the headlines about this, but I didn't watch the full interview. And I'm not even, the full interview is about 20 minutes long. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the full thing, but I'm going to try to break this down and give my opinion if there's much opinion to give, because I think we all know where I stand on this stuff. But I definitely have my oregano, because why is this a thing? Why are we having these conversations right now? Not that the conversations don't need to be had. I mean, like, this conversation. As when we watch it, I've seen a 50, I think about like, it was like a 53-second clip of this. So I haven't watched the whole thing. I've seen a clip from Twitter because people were asking me to watch it. If the rest of this interview is anything like the clip, I'm gonna throw myself out the window, because I already know where this is going. I think, actually,
I'm gonna hit this bar one more time. I'm gonna sip this cup one more time. I'm gonna take this shot one more time. It's like
the video that we're watching today is about this organization called Prostasia, and they are a child protection organization, but I swear they're more of a pedophile protection organization than a child protection organization. Like, they care more about protecting the rights of the predators than the actual children. Let's just look through some of their things in their About Me section on their, this is from their website, right? About Prostasia. We are a child protection organization that combines our zero tolerance of child sexual abuse with our commitment to human and civil rights and sex positivity. Children don't need sex positivity. I will keep... Kids don't need sex ed. They don't need sex positivity. They don't need these things. Kids don't even think about sex unless it's put in front of them. It's not a natural thought just for a child to just be like, oh yeah, like, it's not. I'm tired of people acting like that. This obsession with like wanting kids to know more than they need to before they need to. It's weird. It's to make the adults more comfortable. It's like, it's not really helping the kids. It's not. So I that already red flag for me. What does a child protection organization have to do with sex positivity? Prostasia Foundation is collaborating with university researchers on research into child sexual abuse prevention, initially focusing on the topic of whether fantasy outlets such as fiction, art, or role play are correlated with offending against children. If so, whether this correlation is positive or negative. In either case, whether any casual relationship can be established. In simple terms, do fantasy outlets increase overall levels of child sexual abuse by stimulating unhealthy attitudes towards offending within the general population, or do they have a preventative effect by acting as a safe outlet for those who already have feelings towards minors? Laws and policies that are being promoted to ban such fantasy outlets rely on the former assumption being correct, but there is scant evidence to back this up. So for those who did not catch that, they're asking if fantasy outlets like role-playing, sex dolls, child sex dolls, things like that, if that's still wrong. Like, they're asking, do they increase the levels of abuse? And then they're saying that there's no evidence to back this up. And this is what I be talking about. Like, people swear, they be like, oh, you can't kink shame. Yes, I can, and yes, I will. A lot of y'all be into some weird shit, and y'all only into that because of the porn you watch it, because of things that you got brainwashed on TV and movies. Like, this, again, these things are not normal. This is not just your first thought. When you first, like, if you don't have any trauma, like, imagine, and I even just down to like regular porn, like when I have this like debate like with men, like grown-ass men my age, and telling them like, oh, like, it brainwashed you, and they're like, oh no, porn taught me a lot of stuff. I wouldn't know how to do this if it wasn't for porn. If it wasn't for porn, I wouldn't. That's a lot. Like, you see those two lions that are in the wild right now, and they're having cubs, and they're doing, like, they know what to do because that's what is in us to do. We know how to reproduce. We know how to make a child. All this extra stuff, and even just down to all the women and all the extra toys, it's another way to desensitize us and to literally help us lose sensation so that we keep looking for more tricks and thrills, and we'll never be satisfied. And I'm not with that. With these kinks, it starts off as a, oh, well, I'm just gonna watch this. Oh, I'm just gonna buy this doll. I'm gonna do, and until they got a kid tied up in their basement. I can kink shame. I will. Even if you're not an actual but you're attracted to those girls on Twitter that have on the little skirts and they're talking like a baby and they're like, you're my daddy and I can you feed me my body. That's weird. That means you really want a kid. I don't care if you're not actually with the kid, you want a kid and you want that girl that's acting like a kid because you can't grow up. That's weird. I didn't even watch this video yet. Like, I'm getting hot. You guys see my chest? Like, I'm red. I'm hot. Protecting children from abuse is a cause that everyone can unite behind. However, the measures we take to combat child sexual abuse are less effective than they should be because they are driven by emotion rather than evidence. In striving to protect children from abuse, we may end up harming them and others. You see the and others. Y'all are not worried about the kids. Y'all are worried about them tearing down the predator. This is what this is. This is predator protection. This is nothing to do. How could be going based off of emotion and believing your child and knowing that something happened to your child, something is wrong, how could that affect your child? Y'all trying to piss me off today? This is what they said about themselves. This is on their website. Y'all, oh my god, okay. Coldest water links are in the description if you would like one, if you want some money off. Go, do your thing. I am about to get into watching this and I know that it's supposed to stress me out. I got my oregano. Let's go.
So could you talk about why you used that term in the title and throughout the book?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for that question. I use the term minor attracted person or M.A.P. In the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And M.A.P. advocacy.
No, you see, what have I been telling y'all? I've been saying this, the whole non-binary, the gender neutral, the inclusive, like all of that was leading us to the bullshit. They wanted to normalize calling people by the pronouns that they wanted to be called and all that. I mean, you should respect people, call people what they want to be called, but it's to an extent. Like the XYs and I'm trying to like not, I mean, I guess we're past me not offending anybody because even if I'm really not being offensive, people are offended, so like whatever. But we're 2 seconds into this. Like, I'm not, no. If you are a pedophile, I'm calling you a pedophile. I'm not calling you a minor attracted person. All that M.A.P. stuff is out of the window. I'm not doing it.
It's like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term M.A.P. They've advocated for it primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors.
Even if you haven't committed a crime against a child, but you are attracted to children, you cannot be around, you should not be around children, you can't be around me, you're not having, it's what's not, that's weird, you're a grown adult, you're not, like, that's not, this is not just, oh, my preference is dark skin, my preference is this type of, like, we are not making this a preference.
I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction. From my perspective, there is no morality or immorality attached to attraction to anyone because no one can control who they're attracted to at all.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being punked. What do you, yes, oh my God. Don't be attracted to kids. You're an adult and everyone else around you is an adult and you have a sea of adults to choose to date, but you're attracted to the child, then you have a problem then, right? Like, I don't understand what's the...
In other words, it's not who we're attracted to that's either okay or not okay. It's our behaviors in responding to that attraction that are either okay or not okay. And I want to be extremely clear that child sexual abuse is never, ever okay.
If I'm sitting in my crib and I'm plotting on how to murder my entire family every single night, even if I don't act on it, but I'm thinking about it and I'm posting about it and I'm playing simulation games on my computer of snipers and stuff, then I need to be evaluated. I need to be put into a facility for them to monitor what's going on because eventually something's gonna snap and that whole family is kaput. So I don't know why we're acting like...
But having an attraction to minors, as long as it isn't acted on, doesn't mean that the person who has those attractions is doing something wrong. I think we have a tendency to want to categorize people with these attractions as evil. As evil or morally corrupt. But when we're talking about non-offending M.A.P.S, these are people who have an attraction that they didn't ask for, and one that is
okay, like, I'm not trying to be ignorant, but like Alan here, they are either female to male trans or just a gay male. This is someone who you can tell has been fighting most of their life to be accepted, so they're more open to accept these people. But some people don't need to be accepted. You got to be booted. This is the problem. Like, I need to go, like, the books we used to read like back in school was gangster, like the whole eye for an eye. Like, I could get down with that, like the guillotine. Like, we had, like, why are we moving back from these things? Oh my god.
Frequently they would give anything to change, but they find that they're unable to change those attractions. And most importantly, the people in my study did not act on them. Something else you brought up was the idea that using the term M.A.P could suggest that attractions to minors are a type of sexual orientation. Whether or not attractions to minors are a type of sexual orientation is not a question that can be answered with my particular research. My research touched upon the labels that M.A.P.s use to describe themselves, though, and a lot of them have been really conscious about their choice of language because they don't want to slander, as you put it, lesbian, gay, and bisexual people. So they'll use language to kind of distance themselves from LGB folks, which I talk about more in my book and in other articles that I've written. There's a lot that could be said about whether attractions to minors are in themselves a sexual orientation, and there's research that I cite in my book about that. But to me, that misses a larger and more important difference, which again is about attraction versus behavior. If we did consider M.A.P.s to have their own distinct type of sexual orientation, there would still be a huge difference between M.A.P.s and lesbian, gay, and bisexual people. And that difference is that M.A.P.s have a sexual attraction that would result in a lot of harm if they acted on it. Whereas for LGB folks, there's no harm in having consensual relationships with one another. So that's where the distinction lies. Again, it's really in that difference between attraction and behavior. And non-offending M.A.P.s, by definition, do not abuse children, so their behaviors are moral. But they're still being subjected to this same idea that they're bad people, and they've often internalized that for themselves.
Just because you haven't hurt a child yet doesn't mean that you don't, like, if your best friend is thinking about blowing something up every day, are you going to go with them to the World Trade Center? Are you going to have them with you when you're crossing a bridge? These are problems. We can't. I'm tired. I'm not going to keep trying. Like, and I got a lot, like, I have a lot of, like, gray areas when it comes to, like, not with myself, but, like, with when I'm, like, trying to have an outlook on things. Like, I see a lot of different pieces of the puzzle. Like, even one of my posts, I just made a tweet the other day, and I said something, like, along the lines, like, not all Satanists are bad. There are some Satanists that are amazing people, just like there's some Christians who are terrible people, which is a fact. I'm not a Satanist. I don't deal with Satanists, but I do know a few Satanists. Like, I've worked a lot of jobs. Like, I've been out in the world. I've met a lot of people. I live in New York. Like, everybody is, you know, like, let me put that down, because, you know, you hold a spliff and next you know I'm up there, they talking about she's holding a 666. Shut up. But yeah, like, I'm in a big melting pot, you know, so I meet a bunch of different people, and like one of my coworkers was a Satanist, and like this was like the sweetest girl in the world, and it wasn't that she was evil or she wasn't doing any rituals, she wasn't doing anything, but she just identified as a Satanist because of what the church showed her and how they moved her, like, you know, like she was just like so anti-Jesus that she was like, I'm gonna be a Satanist, not even knowing what she was really doing, you feel me? And like, when I say this girl was like a big bright aura, she wasn't evil, she wasn't dark, like you couldn't say anything bad about her. She was just, that's what she would wear, inverted pentagrams and boots and, you know, but a light, like literally a light. You couldn't mistake her aura. So it was just like, am I now gonna be mean to this girl or not speak to her or talk bad about her just because that's her beliefs? No, because she's not a bad person. That's just what she thinks, you know, that's what she believes in, or what she, like, who cares? Just like, I know, look how many, come on, look at the Catholic Church, look at the priests, look at the all the stuff we know going on with the kids and the little boys, like but these are the people that you're gonna go and you're gonna go pray and you're gonna have them feeding you the body of Christ and the blood of the, like, come on. I don't. As humans and just like in this universe, like y'all have to realize good and bad is so subjective, especially like with the laws we have in place. Because like we've seen them put these laws and people are like, oh, you gotta follow the law. There's no black and white. But then the people who make the laws don't follow the laws. Then the people who are celebrities don't follow the laws. Why do you think they go into jail and then they come right back out? Because they are, I'm getting off track. This is why I can't, I be ranting. Y'all, they are trying to normalize shit that is just not. But I said that to say like, there's certain things that like if I would have been closed off because she was a Satanist or whatever and like just been mean to her, like how does that, I was saying like how does that make me a better person? Like how does that make me good? Because I don't know her to be anything other than this light. Just now she has these beliefs. But you also need to realize that the Satanists in the industry, the people writing the books trying to get these laws passed and stuff, they're not the same as like your local Freemason. You probably have a lodge down the street from your crib right now and you probably seeing a bunch of Freemason compasses in the back of car bumpers, or you're seeing it everywhere because a lot of our world is ran by Freemasons. Are they all bad? No. But do they have a, like, do they really care for our greater good? I don't think so. So, but it's but then it's like subjective because I know a lot of my followers, they'll come and be like, oh, like my dad's a Mason or my mom is an Eastern Star, like we're 33rd degree, blah, blah, blah. Like, does that make them bad people now? Because they're not in the industry either. They're not pushing agendas for you. They just in their house studying whatever they study and that's what they do. Like, it's different levels to things, but this is not up for debate. I don't care. Like when kids come into play, like I don't care. There's never, that's why I started making this content, because when I noticed, because like the whole conspiracy thing, like yeah, like we know I'm into it, but my videos like what are your kids really watching and the Olsen twin video that I did, like that really hit me different because they like are directly attacking children, and it's like we have to be better because I'm seeing where our generation is going right now and it's making me sad. Like it's really hurting my heart. What are we doing? But there's nobody to look up to now. Like the artists don't even want to be artists. Everybody is, oh, I didn't sign up to be a we know you did not. We know, but you're here. This is what you're doing now. You can look, and then they have kids, they're like, oh, I wouldn't let my kid watch this or I wouldn't do that, but you're putting it out there, so why? And it's everything is always just, it comes down to a bag, and it's like the more we keep letting them normalize all of this stuff in real life and in our music and on TV and all this stuff, this is what's happening. This is a direct, nobody seeing this liberal leftist.
So that's why I've used this subtitle, Minor Attracted People and Their Pursuit of Dignity, because a lot of the people I interviewed for the book have encountered people who have told them that they're bad people or monsters just because of their attractions, or that they feel that same way about themselves. And it's often a process for them to just stop feeling internally like they're monsters.
I'm sorry, but like people who are attracted to animals, like, that's weird. You are looking at a child and something that this child has is you're attracted, that's weird.
Some of the people in my study have been going through this process for years, decades even, and some of them had just started it, maybe even just weeks before we spoke. Seeing my participants be so affected by the stigma against them was really hard because they were trying their best to be good people. So it was important for me to use language that was as non-stigmatizing for them as possible.
By 2024, this is what Emmy's gonna look like. Like, literally, even in the comments, the first comment right here, someone said, I'm not a killer, I'm a human life finisher. Like, like, what do you, like, this is what, somebody gets it. Thumbs up, you get it. Y'all, I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate it here. I'm gonna keep saying it. I hate it here. I just came back from the dead and they told me you still not that girl. Like, this is never gonna be it. They're not gonna make M.A.P fetch. Like, I'm not about to, like...
Not on my watch.
Like, this is my baby. Imagine someone that's, like, into bestiality was, like, attracted to my papas. Oh my good, right? No, look at, not you trying to be attracted. I'm doing a lesson right now, okay? That would be gross, right? Like, we're not gonna be like, oh no, they're just a Shih Tzu attracted person. Like, no, that's weird. Our planet is going to shit. Then we got Bezos saying that humans will live in space and then we'll just come visit Earth from time to time. Yeah. They're trying to finish us. Get me out of here, bro. I can't. I'm done. I don't, I actually, like, physically have nothing left to say. I don't want to talk about this anymore, so. Yeah, I knew this was gonna piss me off. I knew from the clip that I saw on Twitter that it was gonna piss me off. We really have to do better. Like, we have to protect these kids because they are under attack. Like, there is a war on children. Like, I don't know why. Like, people think this is a game. Like, oh, why would they want to do, what would they do today? Even I put up the video of Animaniacs and how there's a part where they have the kid hooked up to the machine. I'm like, they're showing how they brainwashing the kid. Somebody was like, no, they're taking analytics to see if it's a good show or not. You really think if it's a good show if they tell you it's a good show? Like, what? Like, we have to be smarter than this. Like, the kids are under attack. Like, their brains are really like, then they're gonna have kids thinking this is okay. It's, oh no, they're a minor attracted person. They'll start putting it inside of Blue's Clues and stuff. Like, oh, this is my minor attracted person friend. Like, what? M.A.P.S. Yeah, my energy is depleted. If you made it this far, subscribe. If you're new here and this is your first video you're seeing from me, I hate that we had to meet on these terms. Yeah, that just blew mine. I'm not even gonna lie. I will see you guys in my next video.